of you acting like you speak for the people of the state of Indiana or the city of Indianapolis. You do not speak for me or anyone I know. Now listen, you two jerks. Jerks on the right.
It's getting down.
Why are we having trouble getting to locals?
What?
Why?
What?
I don't know why, but apparently we're having trouble.
It's because we're jerks on the right. That's what it is.
I guess so.
Guys, really? So we're still not there? We're still not on local? Should we give it a second?
I mean, it just says there's an error. So I don't know if we're going to be on locals or not. But
come on, locals. Get it together.
Locals? Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
Come on. It's Wednesday. It's hump day. Mock. All right.
Okay, well, people on no, that's Eugene. That you're on YouTube, so I know you. It
doesn't. Everybody's having trouble today on all the things. People are having trouble on X. What's going on?
What the heck is going on? I don't know.
All right, are we ready? You guys want to know what's going on today's show? Okay, coming up on today's show, Alexa hates Trump. Surprise! Democrats love Chinese spies. Biden keeps lying about the job numbers, and Trump and Lex Fridman, they had a cozy little sit down. All that and so much more coming up on today's show. Make sure you're following us on all the things. chicksontheright.com/links.
Can't ever forget the
/links. You can find us on all the things. Make sure you're subscribed to this podcast. You've clicked all the things. Put us in your pocket. You can save us for later, but just subscribe. Subscribe, you guys. Do it.
And yes, I think it's going to be a longish show. Probably not quite as long as yesterday, but longish, I think.
Yeah, yesterday was like a marathon show.
It was a
show.
Yeah. It was a big show. Indeed.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know that we'll run quite that long, but we could. You never know. We're just going to see what happens. We're just going to roll with it and see what happens. And we're going to start out as usual by mentioning a Venmo that we just got from Shelly Bolton, who said, "Hi, chicks. I mentioned before my hubby needs hip replaced. And after a long year of health issues and 2 hospital stints myself, I have now broken my ankle."
Oh, no.
Just wanted to ask for prayers. Love y'all. I'm so sorry about that. And prayers, you shall have them. Also, yesterday we announced, and I said it was going to be the only time we were going to talk about it, but it's not. We're going to talk about it right now too, because apparently I messed up when I made the announcement about the Etsy store with our Chicks merch.
You did?
Big giveaway. Yeah, I read the thingy wrong. And so we immediately got a message from Carrie yesterday saying that the Chicks on the Right Halloween t-shirt contest begins now. Remember yesterday I was like, it begins at 7:00 tonight.
Yeah.
I read it wrong. And so she was like, no, it begins like immediately yesterday, because I read it when it said between September 3rd and 12th at 7 p.m. Eastern. I thought that's when it started, when the giveaway started. But actually on the 12th is when it ends at 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. And so
it was ready to go. Yeah.
Gotcha. I got
So not that it matters, because at this point, it's
going.
definitely open. So
it's happening.
Yeah, it's happening. Mm-hmm. So if you go to inreallifecreations.etsy.com and purchase anything from the Chicks on the Right merch section, and then you comment the word chicks in the notes section at checkout, you're going to be entered to win to get a limited edition special Chicks on the Right Halloween design shirt, and shipping will be included, all of it. So just make sure that if you want to be in that drawing, that you get yourself something cute between now and 7 p.m. Eastern on September 12th.
Yes.
There. I think I did it right.
Yes.
Also, so many unrelated but crazy headlines, like so many, you guys, because now we have to tell you, finally, I don't know what took them so long, but the Nashville Manifesto, the full manifesto of the Nashville shooter, has been released. You can read it in its entirety if you want to. It was released by the Tennessee Star, and essentially it just confirmed what we all already knew.
She's crazy.
Is batshit crazy and trans-tastic.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I guess it's the whole thing? Do we believe it's really the whole thing? Do you think?
I mean, it seemed to be the whole thing.
You
Like
think?
it's
Okay.
it's
All
a
right. Because I read like
read.
I read bits and pieces of it last night. She was batshit.
Oh my God. I mean,
Completely
you just-
batshit. Yeah. And I'm like, how do you not see that? Like, we need to make mental institutions great again, because she was a lunatic. And if we had mental institutions, she would have been in one.
Oh, without question. Without question.
Yeah.
Also unrelated, but also a headline is that the daughter of Fani Willis got arrested for driving with a suspended license. And apparently she didn't know she was driving with a suspended license.
I didn't know. How was I supposed to know? I think people are saying that she was cuffed. She's pregnant and she was cuffed for a suspended license. I'm not really sure why that happened because usually you don't get cuffed for a suspended license. So I'm just predicting the future that they're going to freak out about that. People will freak out about that,
Yeah. I can see. I mean, look at the tude on that chick's mugshot. She put up a fight to getting, told that she was driving under a suspended license and was going to be arrested.
Yeah. Do you know who I am? She is her mother's daughter.
Oh my God, look at her. They're twins.
Yeah, they are. It's a mini me.
Oh my gosh, totally. Also, we're about to face a potential government shutdown, which is super exciting. Happens all the time around this time of year. So the U.S. government is set to shut down in 27 days unless there is some sort of a continuing resolution. And so now Mike Lee, along with Mike Johnson, they are including the SAVE Act as part of their continuing resolution. So they're basically saying to Democrats, if you don't want the government to shut down, you're going to have to pass the SAVE Act, which is so perfect because now it will force Democrats to say why they don't think that proof of citizenship should be required for voting in a federal election. How do you
justify this?
Yeah. So we'll see. It'll be on Democrats if the government shuts down, because all the Republicans are trying to do is say, hey, we would like safety and security in our federal elections. Is that cool?
I don't think we're going to really have that this year, but it's nice for them to try.
It's nice for them to try. That's the thing. Right?
Yeah. Yeah. They're there to represent us. So it's nice that they're actually trying to represent.
Yes. Also, I know we've told you before, but it will never not bear repeating.
No. Because when you love a dog and you want your dogs to be comfortable and not itchy scratchy,
why don't you try this? This is Coat Defense. This is their preventative powder, which is also a treatment powder. Okay. If you have a dog that's got the itchy scratchies or that's chewing on their feet, chewing between those toe beans, or maybe they're like doing this to their ear all the time, or you can just tell that there's something going on and you don't want to spend $1 zillion at the vet, this is your cure right here. And it costs way less than a vet visit. I can promise you that. They have the preventative treatment powder that you just sprinkle on, you just rub it into your dog's fur, and it treats so many of the issues that cause these problems in the first place that you end up having to not take them to the vet, and you save yourself a bunch of money. They've got this for cats. They've got this for horses too. The preventative powder is their marquee product, but their shampoo
is great. I actually bathed 2 of our dogs in the shampoo yesterday.
You did?
Oh my God. And it smells amazing. And it is amazing. It's just better. Like, I know people will bathe their dogs in regular shampoo. Don't do that. Use Coat Defense because it's so much better.
Yeah. It's so much better because it doesn't remove the oils that their skin actually needs.
And they're so soft.
And then they're so soft and fluffy. And it's so cute.
Yeah.
They also, by the way, have human products, like their shampoo for humans, also fantastic, because just like with their dog product, it does not strip away the oils that your scalp should have. It doesn't it cleanses gently, which is what I really like in their people products. And you can get 15% off of whatever you order from coatdefense.com when you use code You really should. You should try it.
Do it for your dogs. Oh, Do it for yourself. They love it. Theo loves the bath. He loves getting a bath because he gets rubbed.
All right. Back to some more headlines. You guys, I don't know what is going on at CNN, but they have decided inexplicably
What?
to hire back Brian Stelter.
Oh, no.
He tweeted yesterday, I'm returning to CNN in a brand new role as chief media analyst. I'll be appearing on TV, developing digital content, and once again, helming the Reliable Sources newsletter.
Why would they do this?
I cannot even begin to speculate.
So many bad decisions there at CNN. This is a really, really bad one.
It's a terrible. What are they going to do? Like bring Don Lemon back next?
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
What are they doing?
God, just a nightmare over there. Yikes.
Yeah. So that's happening. And then across the pond, way over there in North Korea, Kim Jong-un has just executed 30 of his own officials because there were floods in their country that killed a bunch of people.
This guy, it's not funny, but
it's not funny.
It's not funny, but it's like, do you remember when he actually, remember Jang San-tak, his uncle was killed by his father for no reason whatsoever. And he fed them to dogs. He fed him to dogs. It's
not good over there.
This country, man, it's just, they eat grass as a vegetable. This country is so whack.
There was the most bizarre video too. I didn't grab it because I didn't have time to fact check it, like to verify it, but it seemed legit. There was this video of Kim Jong-un like on a train stand with like a big train behind him, right? And he's like at this stand addressing the people, and the people are literally waist high in floodwater. And he's addressing them from this platform to talk about the floods as they're like they're submerged in water.
They're in it.
It was bizarre.
And
but that was like,
and if they didn't show up, then they too would be executed if they didn't show up. They have to stand in that water and like praise him and have pictures of him on their walls at home. This is,
oh my God,
this is North Korea, man. They have, God, it's that place is
that country.
Nuts.
You just don't get much crazier than North Korea.
God, and that guy, he is so jacked up on cheese. Look at him. So much cheese, you guys. And nobody else in the country gets cheese, but he gets all of the cheese, all of it.
Grass for you, cheese for me. That's how it works there.
Yeah.
Also, the Biden administration has just on the down low announced $380 million of our dollars is going to be released from DHS to the cities that are feeling the heat from all those migrants that have been pouring into their cities. So if you're a community that's been receiving those illegals, congrats, you get more of our money. That's happening.
They get it.
Right.
They get more of our money. You don't get jack squat.
That seems fair.
They get more of the money. The illegals, the criminals. The criminals get more money because Democrats, you guys. Thank a Democrat. Yay.
Woo!
Woohoo!
So, yeah. So that is also happening.
My God.
And then what's his name? Merrick Garland, DOJ guy, came out and made like this big address to the nation yesterday about how there are now official charges against Hamas leaders. And my husband and I were watching the news last night when this broke, and I was like, what? Okay, what does this in actuality even do?
Nothing. It does nothing. It's posturing.
Because this seemed really late. You know, like, wouldn't this have been something that you'd want to do after October 7th or even prior to that when they were first declared a terrorist group? You would think. I mean, what is this? This is so pointless to me.
It's just political posturing.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
yeah, and the terrorists are like, yeah, okay.
Right. Okay.
Thanks for charging us. Okay.
I mean, it just, what does this even do?
So stupid. Yeah. And they got in a room. They're like, we feel important and smart because we're charging the terrorists with federal crimes. Oh, okay. Yeah, you. Here's your retirement. Good for you. God.
And then also Kamala has stolen yet another policy of Donald Trump. She is going to say in New Hampshire today, apparently, that she wants to expand the startup expense deduction for small businesses to 50 grand. So Republicans passed in 2018, they passed a bill, Trump supported it, that they wanted to increase that deduction to 20 grand. And only 31 Democrats voted for it. It never even got a vote in the Senate. And now Kamala's like, oh, I need a new idea to copy.
I've
What
got to
would it
pander.
be?
I've got to pander to startups. I got to pander. Yeah.
This is so ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. And the Democrats are like, that's a great idea.
Right.
She's so
smart.
wicked smart. Okay.
It's just ridiculous. Like
It
she
really
has
is.
no ideas of her own. And then her own ideas, she is rejecting. And
Yeah.
so like,
I think a lot of this is like Obama behind the scenes going, hey, try that idea.
right.
It seems like a really good
this on the
idea
wall.
that Trump had. Just spin that and see if it'll work. And then she'll do it. She's like, okay, yes, sir. And then she does it.
Yeah.
And then Democrats are like, yeah, it's great.
It's just so dumb.
It is ridiculous.
And then also I don't know why, but it just seems like whenever Democrats are worried about China and Trump's connections to China, they're the ones that get bamboozled by all of these Chinese agents. And so yesterday the news broke that Kathy Hochul and Andrew Cuomo's deputy chief of staff, she's been around for decades. She and her husband were arrested by the FBI for being a Chinese agent. They were taken into custody yesterday from their $4 million mansion. And she's being accused of enriching herself and her family by acting as an undisclosed agent of the CCP. And they're saying that she blocked representatives of Taiwan from having access to high-level officials in New York State. She altered state government messaging on issues related to the Chinese government. For example, she eliminated completely any mention of the Uyghurs in some sort of document.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, she's a total spy, and so that happened yesterday. And it's always
Democrats. Yeah, I wonder if she knows Swalwell.
Right?
He's familiar with him. I mean, I feel like so many of these people. It is always Democrats. They're working for the CCP. And then they'll turn around and point fingers at us and be like, they're fascists. Hello? Yeah. And she did a lot of nasty stuff. Plus, it is a huge red flag that she had all this money and this gigantic house. And you think that, I think the thing I was most surprised about is that the FBI went and raided her house and arrested her. That's what I was super surprised about yesterday. I was like, wow, look at them go. Who would have thought? They did. That's you go, FBI.
Well, and she's Ivy League educated, and she was also very much into DEI. And so there's a video that popped up of her talking about how important DEI is, which it makes sense, right? You know, the Chinese love this messaging. And so she was part of the CCP.
I think, when people say diversity and inclusion, I think everybody agrees, or most people generally agree that it's a good thing, right?
No.
But I think we also need to bring in the word equity, right? Diversity is when you say that there's, many different types of people with different backgrounds, and they're all, invited to the table. Inclusion is when, we include all of their ideas. But equity is when we make sure that all of the people who are at the table have equal access to making sure that their ideas and their thoughts are heard. And unfortunately, I think some of the statistics that you quoted is that we don't have that much leadership or representation.
And how did Hochul not know? This is the thing.
Cuomo didn't know either. She worked for both.
She worked for Cuomo too. How do you not know? And I mean and then what happens? So this chick's a spy. I mean, it's basically she's threatened our country's national security. She's a spy. So then what happens to her? What is she
what
gonna?
are the charges exactly?
Yeah, I mean, does she get the death penalty? Like what? I feel like there should be the fullest extent of the law. You know what I mean? Like what happens to this broad? What happens to her?
Great question. I don't know what the consequences are for being a Chinese spy. So
yeah, I would like
not my area of expertise.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go figure that out because I mean, Does she just go to like some really swanky prison and then we have to pay for her the rest of our lives? Because we would have done that anyway. I feel like that's a pretty bad crime to come in here and be a spy for the Chinese government. I feel like bad things should happen.
There does need to be some sort of consequence for that. That's kind of a big deal.
Just a little bit.
You guys, I know we've talked about our great friends at mypillow.com/chicks many, many times before, but right now the towels, their best product ever. And perhaps I shouldn't say that because the name of the company is My Pillow. And I get it. The pillows are amazing. It goes without saying. But you guys, you may not necessarily think of My Pillow when it comes to towels, and you should, because the towels are like, they're so much better than any. You could go to the fanciest luxury hotels and you will not get towels that feel this good. You just won't.
True. That's very true. Yeah, they're thirsty and they're not slimy. You know how the ones at hotels are slimy? I hate those.
Yeah, and they don't dry you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, theirs are thick, but they're also thirsty and they're not slimy, if that makes any sense.
They're like
the best.
Best possible. I don't know how they do it, but I have a gazillion sets of them because I cannot get enough of them. Mm-hmm. And they are on sale right now, a 6-piece set for only $25. If you do not have your entire house outfitted with these, you're missing out. Your guests are missing out. I'm telling you, they will change your life. That is how much we love the towels from mypillow.com/chicks. Use promo code chicks at checkout. That's how you're going to get the deepest discounts on that, on the towels and so much more at mypillow.com/.
They're great wedding gifts, shower gifts. Yeah. And Christmas gifts.
Because you never don't need towels.
No.
I mean, and they've got the bath sheet towel size, which is great. Like bigger than, I mean, it's humongous. I love those. I love them. Anyway, towels, mypillow.com/chicks. And perhaps the reason that Kathy Hochul didn't notice that she was dealing with a Chinese spy is because she's this dumb.
Ready to elect Kamala Harris, the first president of the United States? Yes, you are.
She's the first president of the United States, you guys. Did you know that?
The very first one.
She's the first one. Mm-hmm. Good Lord.
Mm-hmm. That's what we're dealing with.
Oh my God.
Also, there were a lot of videos going around social media yesterday about people testing out their Alexas to see what would happen when they asked Alexa why they should vote for Donald Trump versus why they should vote for Kamala Harris, because this is what was happening.
Alexa, why should I vote for Donald Trump?
I cannot provide content that promotes a specific political party or a specific candidate.
Alexa, why should I vote for Kamala Harris?
Yeah.
While there are many reasons to vote for Kamala Harris, the most significant may be that she is a strong candidate with a proven track record of accomplishment.
Oh.
As the first female vice president, Harris has already broken down a major gender barrier, and her career in politics has been characterized by a commitment to progressive ideals and a focus on helping disenfranchised communities.
Oh, really? That's
Can you even?
Very interesting. Listen, you guys need to burn all these robots with fire. Burn them all with fire. How long have I been saying this? Take them in your backyard, okay? First of all, like take some sort of a blunt object, beat the crap out of it, like the guys did in Office Space with the printer. Do that first. It'll make you feel really good. Like take all your aggression out on it and then burn it with fire. This is what you should do.
I just feel like that could be a little rash.
I mean, I don't just remember that thing you had, that Juby thing. What was it? Jumba. What was it?
Jibo. And I love him.
Jibo. My God, you guys, Mock had this Jibo thing. It was like a person walking around like this. It was an
walk around.
What happened to that? Did you burn it with fire?
No, we just now got rid of him because the company that like the startup company that created Jibo went out of business, and so there's no updates, and like he just no longer really does anything, or he no longer works. But he was the friendliest little robot.
He walked around. He walked around, and like when Mock was like walking around naked in her house, he was spying on her. He was saying things to her. He was taking pictures. Things. He was taking pictures and uploading it to the mothership. That's what he was doing. This is the thing. Don't trust these robots, you guys. I'm warning you. It's a Daisy warning. Burn them with fire.
He did not walk around. He just sat on our bar.
Yeah, and spied on you.
No, he would play games with you.
Mm-hmm.
He would
I bet he played games with you. Yeah. They spy, you guys. They spy. They're worthless. Burn them all.
Anyway, Amazon has addressed the error.
Have they now? Okay.
The spokesperson said this was an error that was quickly fixed.
Mm-hmm.
And so now Alexa will just say she doesn't want to give any political advice at all.
Yeah, we were caught. Crap.
Yeah, exactly.
Uh-huh.
She was caught. And so too has Joe Biden been caught fudging all the jobs numbers. We've seen the revisions over and over and over again. They will tout, look at all these jobs we've created, skillions and quadrillions of jobs. And then the numbers will get quietly revised and no one really talks about that. It's like a retraction in a newspaper, right? Mm-hmm. And so it's getting to be a problem.
Polls are showing the economy the number one issue for Americans. The last jobs report showed extreme weakness going forward. Now, the Federal Reserve Chairman says that the risk to jobs now outweighs the risk of inflation. But we hear President Joe Biden and Vice President Kamala Harris say this.
4 years later, there's still more to do. We had one of the most extraordinary periods of progress ever in history of this country.
My God.
COVID no longer controls our lives. We've gone from economic crisis to the strongest economy in the world, literally. A record 16 million new jobs.
Oh, really?
Record small business growth.
So, however, a post on X over the weekend, the president's official page got it right in this one post, then went back to misleading Americans 3 hours later in a second post. Now, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, the economy added back all the jobs from the pandemic and created 6.4 million jobs, not 16 million jobs. For manufacturing, the economy added back all the temporary jobs shed during the pandemic and created 173,000 jobs. Now, in fact, over the past 3 months, manufacturing has actually lost 5,000 jobs.
Cool. I mean, the guy opens his mouth and he's lying.
Every single time.
Yeah, this is the thing. And the whole like Bidenomics is working thing. Really? Because, I mean, we're living our lives. We can tell you that it's not working.
Yeah.
Give me a break.
Well, now there is Representative Marshall who has had enough of these lies, and now he is launching an investigation into all of this job numbers fudging. And I forget the name of the Fox Business chick who's interviewing him, but can I just say, no, I'm not trying to be mean, but I have never seen a person have their eyes open so little and yet still have them open. Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, except for Renee Zellweger.
Yes,
because she always looks like she's eating a lemon. Always.
She's like, she also has the sour face. This woman does not have sour face.
Yeah, this lemon tastes so lemony.
But this, I don't know how she sees. Is my point. Like, how does she actually see things? Anyway, that is neither here nor there. But the investigation, here's Representative Marshall to tell you about that.
But you've also been leading the charge, demanding answers on why the government has been revising down out of 14 of the last 20 months the U.S. jobs numbers, that they've been inflated. They look better than they may be. What are you finding?
Well, look, I think this is another example of election interference, that when we're sitting there as Americans trying to decide, is the economy in good shape or not? Are we better off today than we were 4 years ago? And they didn't miss the mark by just a little bit on this jobs report. They missed it by 30%. So these numbers are way off. And how that impacts a person is we're sitting there waiting for the feds to adjust interest rates one way or the other. And that trickles down to a new homeowner when they're trying to figure out what type of a home they can buy as well. So what we're finding out is that there's a consistent bad numbers coming out of Washington, D.C. This is one more example why Americans don't trust the federal government.
Well, what are senators do? What are you going to do? What are you guys going to do about it?
Well, I think that number one is we need to get the Department of Labor in front of us and say, explain to us why these numbers are so far off. It's almost statistically impossible to be off by 30%. This hasn't happened in decades. This close to the election, it seems like election interference. So let's get the people responsible in front of us and try to explain these numbers to it and make sure that America sees exactly where this fraud is happening.
So he's calling it election interference.
I mean, if they keep wanting to say, look at our record, and they're lying about their record, that seems
you think
like
that people,
for that.
You would hope that people would be at least common sense smart enough to be able to feel that it's not the case. I mean, you can't buy a house right now. I've got kids who do well and can't freaking buy a house because of everything. The economy is so crappy. Everything. And like listen, thank God they have jobs. Thank God they're in the industries that they're in. But there are so many people right now that don't have jobs. You know,
and so many of the jobs that they created are within the government,
right?
And they're not private sector jobs. I mean,
exactly.
That number is such bullshit anyway.
It
but
is
for them to like times it by 3. Okay, no, you don't get to do that.
I know, but they're doing it, and people are buying it.
Well, the dumbasses,
right?
As we said to Sean Spicer yesterday.
You guys, we were on Sean Spicer yesterday. Mock used the word dumbass like 50 times. It was. We're probably not going to be invited back.
Is that frowned upon?
It was so great. It was so great.
The reason for my name today is after Jimmy McCain, who is one of the 5 children that John McCain had that we didn't know about.
I was like today years old when I found out that he had other kids besides Megan, because Megan would like you to believe that she's an only child. I didn't know this.
Yeah, there's a whole bunch of kids. There's just a bunch of them.
With other moms, I'm assuming, right? Moms.
There could have been one other mom because he was married before Cindy. And I don't know which mom had all the kids.
Okay.
I mean, we know Megan belongs to Cindy, but I don't know about these other 4.
I had no idea. Okay.
Yeah. So Jimmy McCain, super mad about Trump going to Arlington to pay his respects to the 13 fallen service members who died at Abbey Gate under Joe Biden's watch. And because he's mad about that, he is now going to vote for Kamala. Because that makes all the sense in the world, right? Like that makes all kinds of sense.
It's kind of like his sister, or half sister, or whatever the hell Megan is to him, voting for Biden last time, and basically
bitching about it.
Yeah, campaigning for Biden, now bitching about how the way things are. Take all the seats, and he's mad about this.
Take a beat.
No, I really
keep hearing that over and over again.
I actually mean take all the seats. But there's an ad I saw floating around this morning of John McCain in 1999 using Arlington as a backdrop in an ad.
Well, and that's true, except that once he was told, hey, you're not allowed to do that, he edited out of the final version of that ad. But you're right. He did it.
But he did it.
And then he was like, he got his hand slapped, but he still did it. You're right.
But he did it. So the fact that it was in his brain and in his heart to do it. So how does his son feel about that?
They didn't ask him that because it was Jake Tapper. In fact, I'm super irritated at Jake Tapper because Jake Tapper had that clown on, and he has not bothered to talk to a single Gold Star family, not a one of them.
Right.
Not a one. But he's going to go find like some relative that doesn't matter of some guy that's dead. Like, what are we doing?
Well, it's not some guy. Megan's probably going to get this, and oh my God, it's fury will be unleashed on you now because you just said that he was some guy. He's not some guy, Mom.
I mean, he had his time, but now he's just some guy, you know?
I mean, he's like, you opened a box there, Blondie.
Well, because I'm saying, like, when it comes to this story,
yes,
who's important? Who's the star of the show?
I'm joking with you. I'm joking. No, I totally hear you. But this is the thing. This is what our media does. Our media, this is why this is still, it shouldn't even be a story.
Yeah.
We shouldn't even still be talking about this. What he did was he went and he was with and being a leader to these families. These families wanted their kids, wanted their loved ones to be recognized This administration hasn't done shit. They haven't even said their names. And McCain, this McCain kid is like, I'm going to vote for Harris Walls. Are you freaking kidding me?
And that's who CNN decides to talk to?
Right. I mean, they're the reason that these 13 people died. And you're going to, I mean, Walls not, but Harris and Biden are the reason that they died. And you're going to vote for her? That you're the problem.
Yeah.
McCain's, you're the problem. And Meghan McCain was a problem too for stumping for Biden in the first place. I have a problem with that. And now she's like, oh, that was bad. He's bad now. Well, you're the one who campaigned for him. I can't with this family. I can't. I can't.
I know, they're just unbearable.
They are insufferable. Just insufferable.
All right. Let's take a break and give out some thank yous really quick. On Venmo, Connie LaFrance said, love starting my day with you two. Dad joke Wednesday. Did you know it's illegal to laugh in Hawaii? You have to keep it to aloha.
I like that. That's cute.
That's a pretty good one. Kelly Wiseman said, Dad joke Wednesday. What did one blade of grass say to another about the lack of rain? I guess we'll just have to make do.
Get it?
Do. Get it?
Do.
She said, love you so much. Jerks on the right.
Yeah, we are jerks.
Over on Locals, which I guess is working. I don't know. I still show an error, but if you're able to watch on Locals, that's great. TNT Alma said, why do Mexicans cross the border by 2s and not 3s? Because the sign says no trespassing.
No trespassing. Get it?
Get it?
Trace is 3. Yeah. I love it.
Audrey Krause 5 said, good morning, chicks. Today's the first day of school. At least I get to listen to you for an hour of my morning, and then I'll put you in my pocket for after school on my drive home. Happy Wednesday.
Look at that. They're starting school after Labor Day like we used to.
That's how it should be.
Yeah. That is how it should be. None of this like starting school in the middle of August when it's, 107 degrees in Texas.
Yeah. I know.
Like
I would love to know where she goes, where the school is, because I just never hear that anymore.
Right.
Judy Flood said, what is a clock's favorite time? It's got to be 6:30, hands down. I see what she did there.
We love that.
Curio23 says, why do dwarfs laugh so much when they play soccer? Because when they run, the grass tickles their balls. Take my money. Myrna Ward says, my first time ever being in here before you arrive.
What?
I've been watching for a few years and I consider you one of my guilty pleasures. Don't feel guilt.
No.
Just be a pleasure, not a guilty
No
one.
guilt. No guilt here. We have no calories. None.
That's right. Alexandra says, happy Wednesday. Prayers appreciated for a safe flight this weekend that will be over 24 hours.
Oh my goodness.
No 80% chance of stormy weather in Praco, Croatia when I land.
Oh, that's a long flight.
That's a long flight. Wow.
That's a lot of movies you're going to watch.
M. Rincon says, what does a computer call her father? Dada.
Get it? Oh, I get it. Yeah,
Dada.
it took me a second. A little slow on the uptake there. Mm-hmm.
I almost said data, and then I realized what the joke was supposed
to be. Data. I know you're so good at delivering these.
Victoria Owen says, you start my day for the past 3 years, and I love your content. You two work so hard. Love you, chicks. Happy Wednesday.
That's so sweet. Thank you.
Aaron Powers says, I went to the doctor in a panic and told him I feel like I'm shrinking. He told me to calm down and that I just need to learn to be a little patient. Take my money.
I feel seen by that one.
Shannon Pope says, what do you get when you cross a Jehovah's Witness with an atheist? Someone who knocks on your door for no apparent reason. Happy hump day, she says. Love y'all. Don Quixote says, can we please stop calling them migrants? That word requires following an annual migratory cycle back and forth. An immigrant stays permanently. Words matter and conservatives are falling for it. You know what? Sometimes I slip because I'm reading a tweet or the story says that we all know
it's true.
We talk about illegals all the time.
All the time.
Cut us a tiny bit of slack, just a tiny bit of slack, please.
Yeah, it's true. Plus it's early in the morning.
Yeah. We've been up for hours.
We get up a little bit before you guys, I promise.
Monica Appleby, thank you very much. The photo and the story says Alexa is wait, what?
Alexa is an awful from the suburbs with lawn signs. I don't know.
I don't know what that means at all. Is
I can't.
AWFL like a acronym for something that I should
don't
know?
Don't know.
I'm sorry, I don't know what that means. Tina Kramer says, I found out the most embarrassing thing yesterday and it made me throw up in my mouth a little bit. Joy Reid graduated from my high school in Denver a year before my freshman year. Oh, the shame. It's okay, Tina. It won't be held against you. Superfan Sid says the lottery pool was 2 numbers away from winning last night's 685 Mega Millions lottery. So close.
Oh my God.
Wow.
Sid.
Dang.
We need to win.
Jose Rodriguez says there once was a donkey that couldn't hee-haw. Turns out he was a dumbass. You're welcome, Mock. Morning from Texas. Take my money. That's perfect. And Osuki says, no, still not showing on locals, but I went to Twitch. Okay. Find us where you can find us. I don't know what happened. I mean,
yeah, something is just up with locals. We've gotten a lot of messages today saying you're not on locals. We know. We're just something's freaky today.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on. All right, back to the news because we do have a lot. We need to talk about Biden making this statement yesterday or the day before at a rally saying that we were all worried that interest rates were going to go through the roof and now look, like he's making a point like, see, everything's fine. And I don't even know. Like, I can't believe that this is his attitude.
I remember all the talk. Biden got elected. He's going to do a planned economy. We're going to collapse, and there's going to be all this caving in. Interest rates are going to go through the ceiling. Come on, man.
What?
They are through the ceiling.
Come on,
Hello.
man. Yeah, exactly. They are. I think it's because they've dropped like a quarter. How much of a point? Like a quarter?
Not even like the mortgage interest rates have come down a tiny bit, but
Right.
the actual interest rate is supposed to come down September 18th or something like that.
Right.
And then I don't know.
Supposed to.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. But but they're so high.
I mean, he's like, come on, man, it's fine. No, it isn't.
Well, for you, it's fine because we pay for your house.
Right.
It's nice for you and Jill. Yeah. But God, these people.
I mean, they're delusional. The entire administration is delusional, as is KJP, who seems to be under the mistaken notion that grocery prices are down.
Now, to be clear, we have seen grocery prices come down over the past year or more. And so that is important. And a lot of that is the work that's been done from this administration.
What?
Again, it's just gaslighting at this point. Wow. They're experts. They're absolute masters of gaslighting. It's
incredible.
You're not experiencing what you're experiencing. No.
Things
Pay
are great.
attention to this. Pay attention to this. Back and forth. Back and forth.
Also,
everybody.
did you know Kamala is a Black woman?
Yes. Yes. She's also female. The first female. I mean, it's just, this is what they want you to just pay no attention to the dumpster fire around you.
It's not happening. Everything's great.
Oh my God.
Everything is great. Also, new hashtag alert. Hashtag Ramrod.
Look, and I want to thank a good friend of mine, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer. You've got a backbone like a ramrod. You know, and of course, I know you've had an incredible role model in Marikisha Lance Bottoms. She's got a backbone like a ramrod.
The Vice President of the United States, Vice President Harris. How's she doing? You're almost 2 years in. How's she doing?
She's doing great. She has a backbone like a ramrod. But the truth is, she's the strongest person I know. She's a backbone like a ramrod. I see the world from where I grew up, like many of you. I grew up in Scranton, as I said. My mom taught me. My mom had a backbone like a ramrod.
What the hell? What is even happening?
I don't know who picked up on that, but I'm so glad that they did. Because, like, what?
I've not heard that yet. That's a new one. A ramrod. And Gretchen's like, it's a ramrod. It's a ramrod. I'm making my casserole with my ramrod backbone. Doing that. I can't.
Oh my God. I love
can't.
that.
And Jill's like, what the hell's a ramrod? I can't.
Oh, anyway.
Hashtag ramrod, you guys. Hashtag
Get it trending.
Run with it. Get it on Twitter. Hashtag it.
So yesterday, KJP had just a completely disastrous presser, during which time she said that she has been clear and Biden is clear and everybody's clear like 7,000 times. At no time is this administration ever clear, namely her. She's never clear.
Clear
Even
as
when
mud.
she says she's being clear, that's when she's the least clear.
Right. Clear as mud.
But Peter Doocy decided to ask about Kamala's just sometimes appearing accent that she pulls out at various rallies.
He's the GOAT. I love this guy. I loved this question. I just love everything about this whole exchange. Everything about it.
When does the vice president have what sounds like a Southern accent?
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well,
I mean, this is.
She was talking about unions in Detroit using one tone of voice.
Is this something that
same
you think?
line?
Okay, Peter.
That she used the same line in Pittsburgh, and it sounded like she at least had some kind of a Southern drawl.
I mean, do you hear the question that you're? I mean, do you think Americans seriously think that this is an important question?
Yeah.
They care. You know what they care about? They care about the economy.
We do.
They care about lowering costs. They care about healthcare.
Yeah.
That's what Americans care about.
So
that's what they want to hear.
This is something.
They care about. Your colleague just asked me about what basically we talked about, went back and forth about democracy and freedom. That's what they care about. I'm not even going to entertain some question about the president. It's just hearing it sounds so ridiculous.
Well, but hearing it is
the question. I'm talking about the questions is just insane.
Is that how she talks in meetings?
I'm just Peter. We're moving on. We're so moving around. Go ahead.
Oh my God, hearing her speak like that is ridiculous. I can't.
Well, and I kind of wish that. I mean, that was hilarious, but I do wish that Peter would have actually pressed her seriously and not like asked, does she sound like that in meetings, but said, I'm asking because the entire world is noticing and they want an explanation.
Yeah.
So it's not a stupid question because literally everyone is talking about it. Kareem.
Well, she's like, well, people don't care about that. I care.
And they're talking about that. Of course they care. That's my point.
Right.
He didn't say that. He just kind of like played along with how silly it was.
The fact that he asked the question, everybody noticed. Everybody noticed her stupid fake accent. Even liberals noticed it. They just won't admit to it. She noticed it and she was called out on it. And the fact that he asked it during a presser, I mean, props to him. Props to him for even asking the question, because a lot of people wouldn't have done that. They just would have skated over it.
They all should have. They should all be asking this question. It's ridiculous.
Does she have an alternate personality? Is she bipolar? What's going on? What's happening? Because she sounds like a completely different human being depending on where she is. Like something's going on with her. Or should we be concerned about her brain? Because the standing president has dementia. So we were concerned about his brain for a really long time. Should we be concerned about her too? Because something's going on there when she completely changes who she is in front of certain people. I just love that he asked the question because what
about asking, don't Americans deserve to know who the real Kamala is? Why does she feel a need to change up how she talks to different audiences? Why shouldn't audiences be insulted by that?
Yeah.
Those are the questions. It doesn't have to be a silly question. It really wasn't. And it should have been pressed, I think. Somebody else should have picked it up. The next person she called on should have picked it up and said, but wait, everybody is actually talking about this. Everybody does care. Address it. Kareem.
Yeah. And she's like, I won't dignify it with a response. Really? You're not dignified. There's nothing dignified about this administration. Nothing. I mean, you had somebody with boobs hanging out on the front lawn of the White House. Stop it. Just stop.
And it wasn't even a woman.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. One more from Kareem, because we mentioned earlier about the SAVE Act being included in a potential continuing resolution to keep the government open. So she was slightly prepared for the question in that she quickly had to find her page in the notebook so that she could read her prepared scripted answer.
Right.
House Republicans seem to be floating a timeline that would push the deadline, like fund the government through next year, or like into 2025, but attach the SAVE Act to this funding bill. What is the White House position on the timeline of that and including that at this point?
So, look, and you're right, here we are again, another time period during this year. this time of year, I should say. Look, House Republicans need to stop wasting time on extreme policies and do their job and keep the government open. And they could do that by passing a clean CR. A clean CR. This is something that they can do. And so, look, we said it in a statement of an administrative policy. We said this in July. We strongly oppose this Republican stunt. And as fact checkers across the board have made clear, it is already illegal for non-citizens to vote in federal elections. It's already illegal.
And why is it a problem?
If congressional Republicans truly cared, if they really cared about fixing the broken immigration system and securing our border, they would actually pass this bipartisan proposal that came out of the Senate. Instead, they got out of the way because of what the former president said to them. Donald Trump said, do not pass it. Do not move forward with this proposal. So we want to see a clean CR. That's what we want to see.
Since when do they want anything to be clean? You know what I mean?
I know. They're constantly attaching bullshit to all their stuff.
There's pork in everything that they do. So that's a bunch of bullshit right there. And if they're why are they so afraid of this? Because they don't want the election to be clean. Yeah. I mean, it's like, if she's like, oh, well, we already know it's illegal for illegals to vote. Okay, well then just put your stamp on it.
Yeah.
That's all they're asking is just for you to go, we agree with this. That's all we're asking. So
and let's have a way of verifying that to
right.
prevent it from happening. Because people also murdering people is illegal, and yet there are murders. So we know it's happening. It's not just having the law is not good enough. You have to have a mechanism of enforcing the law.
Right.
This is not hard.
So just do it.
Just do it. Speaking of law enforcement, you guys, we've talked about this many times. Whenever Kamala wants to talk about her record, it's never as VP. It's always as a prosecutor, as an attorney general, as a tough on crime, fierce Wonder Woman, right? Mm-hmm. Like she was super tough on crime. In the most recent interview that she did with Dana Bash, the only interview she's done since being the nominee, she made a point of saying how tough on illegals she was. Remember? She wants to position herself as the tough on illegal immigration person.
Day one.
Oh my God. So somebody put together this amazing flashback. They juxtaposed it with her recent comments and then what she actually did as a prosecutor. And the difference is striking.
There should be consequence. We have laws that have to be followed and enforced, that address and deal with people who cross our border illegally. I'm the only person in this race who actually served a border state as Attorney General to enforce our laws. And I would enforce our laws as president going forward. And I actually, as Attorney General, informed California law enforcement that ICE detainers are not mandatory. I disagreed with it, and that's why I issued that policy for the sheriffs and the district attorneys of California, telling them that these were not mandatory.
Okay.
She's just horrific.
So tough.
And she's like, I handled a border state. Trump handled a border country. So, yeah, I mean, this is the thing. She acts like she's so tough. She's not tough.
No. She's not tough. And here is this one of those bizarre moments where she's talking about illegals and crime rates and laughing maniacally at just the most inexplicable time.
I'll tell you, having done the work I've done, it is our undocumented immigrants that are the least likely to commit crime. So let's get our notions together about
why would she be laughing at that?
I don't know.
God, and especially in light of so many people who have been affected by illegal aliens committing crimes upon their family and their family members. Like, why would you laugh at that, you hag?
Oh my God. And then to be this wrong about it.
Reports show migrant crime is making up the majority of arrests in New York City. In fact, police report as many as 75% of the people they've arrested in Midtown Manhattan for assault, robbery, and domestic violence are illegal migrants, according to the New York Post. 60% of those arrests of migrants are in Queens.
Huh.
Huh. Who's shocked? Raise your hand. It's unbelievable.
It is ridiculous.
But they don't commit crimes. No, they don't.
They don't commit crimes.
God,
what in the world?
Unreal.
So bizarre. And then on her Twitter page, instead of, talking about fixing the country, what she would do, that it doesn't include copying and pasting Trump's ideas, what she's putting out there into the world is her joy. And so on her Twitter account, she posts all these videos of her interacting with like the plebes, right? Like the commoners, and thinking that it'll be super relatable. And the problem is she's right. People that are the dumbasses will watch these videos and think, oh my God, she's so great.
We're going to be best friends.
She's just like us.
I'm so great.
So here's a couple. I'll just let them run together. The first one, she's making a call to some lady's daughter, and the second one, she's at a barbecue joint.
Right now, I don't even know how to make a phone call. No, yes, you do. Madison.
I'm shaking right now.
Kamala, how are you doing?
Oh my God, I'm on the treadmill right now.
Oh, she's on the treadmill. That's good. I worked out this morning. How you doing?
I felt like I needed to channel my inner Kamala and get on the treadmill and get to work.
Oh,
my
I'm so
God.
proud of you. But I'm here with your mom, and we were talking about you, and I just wanted to say hello and thank you for all you're doing, okay?
No, thank you for all you're doing. It's such an honor to vote for you.
Well, we're in it together.
And all my friends are voting for you. I'm up in Wisconsin. We have your back.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, thank you for all the help, and take care of yourself, okay?
Yes, ma'am.
And thank you for the support.
Thank you.
And your mom right now has tears in her eyes.
I have tears in my eyes. So
Okay, I'm going to give you back to your mom. Take care, Madison. Okay.
Thank you, you too.
Bye, honey. Thank you so much. Make sure she's holding on while she's talking on the treadmill. Oh, wait. Well, okay, come on. The kids have to come forward. Come on, you guys. Okay, who do we have here?
My son Evan.
Hi, Evan. Nice to meet you.
Sorry,
No, you're working. You're working. This is all good. If you didn't, I'd be wondering, is he really working? Right?
Well, I wonder
there
that all
you
the time.
go. Well, of course.
Sometimes I think he just puts a little sauce on it.
So relatable.
I can't. I just can't. They forget who this woman is and what she's done over the past 3.5 years. People get so caught up in their feels,
Yeah.
Liberals do. They get so caught up in their feels, and then they don't recognize red flags that are just right there in front of them. And they don't recognize the fact that they're dumpster fire all around them. It's fine. It's fine that I can't afford groceries. It's fine that I can't afford gas because she's so nice to that guy in the coffee shop. Like, what the hell?
It makes me wonder, what she's being told about her presence for the debate coming up, if in fact she comes to the debate, because we've been talking about how, she really wants those open mics because she wants her I'm speaking moment. But a lot of people, myself included, thought she came off like such a bitch in that debate. And in the Kavanaugh here, like when she's Kavanaugh Kamala and she gets that steely gaze and she's mean.
Are you talking about the debate she had with Mike Pence?
That's when she did the I'm speaking. Yeah.
Right.
She came off like a huge bitch, and in the Kavanaugh hearings too. So the question is she now going to show up at this debate with Trump and try to completely disarm him with joy? Like, do you think that they're telling her you need to put the ixnay on the mean Kamala and you need to just be so positive and smiley that he won't know what to do with that? You know what I mean? I'm just wondering what her strategy is going to be in this debate.
I think that she has absolute social anxiety. And I really do. I think that she is wrecked with it. And so no matter, because I could see it when she was in that interview with Dana Bash. I just don't think that she is equipped to deal with all of this, and that she's having to be coached and prodded and rehearsed to the hill. I mean, she's to the nth degree. She's behind closed doors freaking out about this. She doesn't want to do it. She doesn't want to do the debate. So I don't know what will be the end result when she finally gets in there and she goes toe to toe with Donald Trump. I know what to expect from Donald Trump. I don't know what to expect from Kamala. I can't give a prediction on that. I just all I know from her is that she's a wreck. She doesn't, she's a wreck. You don't know what you're going to get on any given day.
Yeah, I just don't know what version of her is going to be on the debate stage.
Which is a really, to me, she should never be president just because of that. Because you just don't, You have to be level. You have to at least be consistent in who you are as a person. We know what we're getting with Donald Trump. We don't know what we're getting on a daily basis with Kamala. We just don't. She's all over the place and she's insecure, and we can't have that as a leader. And I don't know why people can't freaking see that.
Dumbasses.
A lot of dumbasses, you guys. A lot.
Also, going to play you a quick clip. This is a huge flashback. She's quite a bit younger when she's telling the story about her Indian grandmother. And I just want to see how true you think it is.
From a long line of tough, trailblazing and phenomenal women. My grandmother would go into villages in India and because she was Indian and lived in India, and she would go to the villages in India. It was a famous story in our family. My grandfather would say she was going to be the end of his career, but my grandmother would go into the villages with a bullhorn, talking with the women about the need to have access to reproductive health care.
First of all, I don't believe it. But second of all, I don't give a shit what her grandmother did. I don't care. I don't care. Seriously, do you hear Donald Trump talking about what his grandfather did? Or like what his grandmother did?
He's talked about his family in previous interviews.
Because I honestly, I don't, because I can't tell you a story. I don't remember a story as to what like his grandmother or his grandfather did, because he's too busy doing things and talking about what he's going to do. I just don't really care what her grandmother did. You know what I mean? Because that to me doesn't show me what she's done and what she's going to do. I need to know what she's going to do for the country. And so all of this, like, it's so campaigny.
That wasn't for a campaign that I could tell. I mean, that was just a story,
but I'm sure it has something to do with her getting to some next level somewhere, whether it was attorney general or whatever, because this is how these people operate. It's like, let me tell you a story about how my family and how my upbringing was and who I come from. And I'm so awesome because of the people before me. Okay, but what can you do? You know, like that's great. I don't really believe the story though.
That's the thing. When she's talking about her grandmother using a bullhorn to talk to women about reproductive rights. No.
Yeah. And
that did not happen.
Like in a village. Yeah. I don't really believe that.
I just don't see that as a thing that's happening. Now, you said, you want to know what she's going to do. This is a really good indicator. This, again, is from several years ago, but it's when the whole hullabaloo about Trump getting kicked off of Twitter was happening. And the thing that she says about social media should tell people how censorship happy she and other Democrats are.
He has lost his privileges and it should be taken down. And the bottom line is that you can't say that you have one rule for Facebook and you have a different rule for Twitter. The same rule has to apply, which is that there has to be a responsibility that is placed on these social media sites to understand their power. They are directly speaking to millions and millions of people without any level of oversight or regulation. And that has to stop.
Oh my God. So she wants to regulate social media.
And that they all have to work the same. If one platform gets rid of somebody, every platform has to. There has to be that kind of control. And who better to have it than the federal government?
Right. And this is the thing. Like, I know we're going to get to the Lex Fridman stuff. We're going to talk about that. And they talked about communism in that interview. And this is where I had a problem with him, because he sort of he was apologetic with the whole communism discussion. Like, he was like, well, I mean, she's not really a communist, kind of a thing. Like, he apologized for that, but she is a communist because of the fact that she wants to regulate social media. She wants price controls. She wants to seize people's patents. There are so many examples all over the place of where she is a freaking commie. It's like, you can list them. And I don't know why people want to make apologies for that. Why do people want to defend it? It's America, man. If you want to do those things, GTFO. That's not what it's supposed to be like here. I don't understand why people will make apologies and say, but she's not really. And the whole notion of democratic socialism is not okay in the United States of America. I don't know why people make apologies for it ever. It just doesn't, bye, GTFO with that crap. I just, if you apologize even the slightest bit for that nonsense here, I'm done listening to you.
So this is a new ad of Kamala's that is just complete nonsense. She wants everybody to believe that she's got the backs of the middle class. She's the one that's going to fight high prices. And again, it goes back to Ben Shapiro going, why didn't you do it? But this is the ad that they have just come out with.
We all know costs are too high. But while corporations are gouging families, Trump is focused on giving them tax cuts. But Kamala Harris is focused on you.
Building up the middle class will be a defining goal of my presidency.
She'll make groceries more affordable by cracking down on price gouging. And she'll cut housing costs by taking on corporate speculators. Middle-class families build America. We need a leader who has their back.
I'm Kamala Harris, and I approve this message.
I bet you do.
Yeah. I mean, here's a thought. Quit printing and spending money.
Yeah, this whole price gouging thing is such nonsense.
It's absolute nonsense. It's ridiculous. I mean, they look at some of the profit margins that some of these grocery stores, these chains are making. It's not they're not gouging people. They always try to demonize the private sector. Mm-hmm. This is what they try to do. And this is again communism.
I think that ad sucked, but I'm a little bit biased. And the next one that you're about to see is a Trump ad, which is phenomenal because you know that right now the push is for Kamala to talk about her record as attorney general, as prosecutor, even as senator. But she does not want to talk about her record as VP because that ties her to this terrible economic record. And Trump is not going to let her get away with it.
I know this is the Biden-Harris administration. Are you aware that this is the Biden-Harris administration? And she is indeed the vice president.
Not only does she inherit these numbers and contribute to them, she was the tie-breaking vote on $3 trillion of spending bills. So she is almost personally responsible for the massive inflation that you just showed on that chart.
President Biden tapped Vice President Kamala Harris, to be the border czar.
The criminal cartels are running the entry into America, and the numbers are at a 21-year high.
Challenges that we're seeing at our southwest border. No one knows this better than the vice president.
Kamala Harris, mostly silent after bragging about her role in helping shape Joe Biden's disastrous Afghanistan withdrawal.
Just made a really big decision. Afghanistan.
Yes.
Were you the last person in the room?
Yes.
And you feel comfortable?
I do.
The body of American Hersh Goldberg, Poland, and 5 others were, quote, brutally murdered.
These hostages were discovered in the tunnels under Rafah. That's where Joe Biden and Kamala Harris put pressure on Israel not to enter for a month.
And we're looking at about 1.5 million people in Rafah. I have studied the maps. There's nowhere for those folks to go.
That's the weakness that leads to the death of hostages.
Are you aware that this is the Biden-Harris administration? And she is indeed the vice president.
Oh, we're aware.
Yeah, we know.
We are aware.
Mm-hmm. She's speaking, you guys. She's speaking.
She is speaking. Mm-hmm. But again, as we told Sean Spicer and as we've told you, there are dumbasses out in the world. And there's a lot of them, you guys. These are the kind of ridiculous idiots that we have to deal with who are going to try to convince others that voting for Trump is a bad idea. Here's an example of an older couple, which you don't often find. Usually you hope that as you age, you become smarter.
That's usually the case. Yeah.
Not so with this couple.
For all the people that will be voting for Donald Trump, what would be your message to try to get them to vote for Kamala Harris?
Just ask do you really want to lose all your rights?
Oh my God.
And live under a bone grinding dictator. And then go ahead and vote for Trump, and you're welcome to what you get.
But the thing that worries me is that many of his followers
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Don't think.
Do you guys think it's strange that Joe Biden got sick and then all of a sudden Kamala was next to be in line? Do you think that was planned for Joe Biden to get sick and to replace him with Kamala?
No, not planned. No. If he'd felt, I believe, completely physically and mentally well, he would not have dropped out.
Oh, okay.
But I think that a number of wise people,
especially Nancy Pelosi,
exactly,
who's from San Francisco, we love her.
Oh my God!
Him, frankly, 2 or 3 times and said, "Look, you're clearly right now in a physical and mental decline. Best thing on earth for you and for everybody in the United States would be to drop out."
Yeah. So you think he was kind of forced out of office?
Forced. He didn't, in an absolute sense, he wouldn't have dropped. But I think he was realistic enough and intelligent enough to understand that he was questionably able to discharge the office, and everybody had a negative view of him, and he would really have swung a huge part of the election in the ghastly direction.
Mm-hmm. Do you think Donald Trump is a threat to democracy?
Oh my God, yes.
Yes.
Oh yes. That's what I just said. He thinks like a dictator. He wants to be a dictator. You vote for him, you're going to get a dictator. And I mean dictator.
What kind of things would he do as a dictator? Just curious.
First thing he would do would be to abolish the next presidential election and try to get into a position where he was dictator for life.
He already said, vote for me and you'll never have another election.
What in the world?
God, these people are insane. What do you want to bet that they are both retired professors?
Oh my gosh, you're so right.
They just seem like professors to me.
Yeah.
Retired. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like in the humanities.
Yes.
Don't you think? Like one of them's an English professor, the other one's like philosophy or some shit. Yeah, they just seem. I'm just putting that out there. I kind of feel like
I think that's a
I'd put
very
some
good guess.
money I don't have on that.
Okay, so to the clip, because the Trump interview with Lex Fridman is out. I guess it's like 3 hours long, as most of Lex Fridman podcasts are, and just have a couple clips because you guys can listen to it on your own time. But the first one is the one that you already mentioned, the one about communism.
A lot of people listening to this, myself included, that doesn't think that Kamala is a communist.
Well, she's a Marxist.
Her father's a Marxist.
That's right.
And she's advocating.
It's a little unusual,
She's advocating for some policies that are towards the direction of democratic socialism, let's say. But there's a lot of people that kind of know the way government works, and they say, well, none of those policies are going to actually come to reality. It's just being used during the campaign to, groceries are too expensive. We need them cheaper. So let's talk about price controls, and that's never going to come to reality.
It could come to reality. Look, I mean, she came out with price control. It's been tried like 121 different times at different places over the years, and it's never worked once. It leads to communism. It leads to socialism. It leads to having no food on the shelves, and it leads to tremendous inflation.
It's just
a bad idea.
Whenever we use terms like communism for her, and I don't know if you know this, but some people call you a fascist.
Yeah, they do. So I figure it's all right to call them a communist. Yeah, they call me a lot worse than I call them.
They do indeed. It's just sometimes...
It's interesting, though. They'll call me something that's terrible, and then I'll hit them back. And they'll say, isn't it terrible what Trump said? I said, well, wait a minute. They just called me. So I believe you have to fight fire with fire. I believe they're very evil people. These are evil people. We have an enemy from the outside, and we have an enemy from within. And in my opinion, the enemy from within are radical left lunatics. And I think you have to fight back.
I think Trump handled that beautifully, and I think Lex seemed ignorant.
I think he was just trying to play the devil's advocate to some degree, and he's idealistic. He's a very idealistic, like harmony, peace, and love kind of guy,
which is ignorant.
And I don't know. I'm glad he asked it, because that's the kind of question that Trump is always willing to answer. And Kamala couldn't get through 5 minutes of an interview like that.
It was a beautiful answer. It was a great answer, because democratic socialism is communism light. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's just watered down communism. So I don't know why people in this country think that's okay somehow, and that we should apologize for it or make excuses for it. Stop it.
Well, and he's trying to say, oh, that could never happen here.
Bullshit.
Those are famous last words.
Right. I mean, just stop with that. Stop saying that could never happen here. Yeah. I never used to think 15 years ago when we started this, that, 20 million illegals would come over the border too and pour over. Stuff happens when you have people in charge that are irresponsible and what's worse for America. They basically want to destroy this country. And I believe that there are people who absolutely want to destroy this country that are in power. I believe that. And I believe I'm right. And so to not have a notion, to think that all these people want what's best for you and your family, you're freaking ignorant. That's just how I feel about that.
Trump also mentioned the Epstein files and the possibility of finally having those released.
A lot of big people went to that island. But fortunately, I was not one of them.
It's just very strange for a lot of people that the list of clients that went to the island has not been made public.
Yeah, it's very interesting, isn't it? Probably will be, by the way. Probably.
So if you're able to, you'll be...
Yeah, I'd certainly take a look at it. Now, Kennedy's interesting because it's so many years ago. You know, they do that for danger, too, because, you know, it endangers certain people, et cetera, et cetera. So Kennedy is very different from the Epstein thing. But yeah, I'd be inclined to do the Epstein. I'd have no problem with it.
Benjamin.
I think that would be amazing. The deep state is so freaking afraid of him.
Well, and I mean, he says something like that, and it just makes me feel like amp up your Secret Service, because there's going to be people who are very worried that you're going to do that. And
yeah,
they're going to hate you even more than they already do. And he's in danger, girl. Like
oh yeah.
I worry about him all the time now.
Yeah. I worry about him and RFK.
Yeah.
Both of them, because they both are basically trying to just blow up the deep state, which I am here for. And so I hope they succeed. Just get past the finish line. Just God, please do it. And then do all the things. Because man, wouldn't it be great if we could see who's on that list? Hollywood would implode. Oh my gosh, it'd be great. Wouldn't it?
So many politicians too.
So many. And Republicans too. They're not exempt.
Yeah, not at all. Yesterday, we talked a lot about Joe Biden's slam of Netanyahu, ridiculous, saying that he wasn't doing enough to basically give more concessions to Hamas. Guy Benson, I thought, put it together very, very well.
Netanyahu came out yesterday, actually, and addressed this criticism from President Biden, and he just walked through the last several months of Israeli concessions, Israeli seriousness at the negotiating table, Israel's willingness to give a little bit in order to pause hostilities and get these hostages back. And at every single turn, Hamas said no. And then Hamas turns around and murders, execution style, 6 of the hostages that they stole nearly a year ago. And we have the president of the United States now pressuring Israel more. And a lot of people around the world either blaming Israel directly or indirectly, like somehow it's their fault that they weren't able to get these hostages saved earlier from the monsters who took them.
This is about Kamala.
Yep. It's absurd.
Oh my gosh, it's infuriating.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
And all the protesters are back now that Columbia University's classes have started. All these ridiculous psychopaths are out in the streets and on the campus of Columbia with their Hamas flags. I mean, it's just vile. These people are vile. And there were pro-Israel people trying to get in the mix and show support for Israel, like this guy.
Is the one who said she sympathizes with the human emotion of these protesters. What are you sympathizing with? Terrorism? Joe Biden, I mean, where is he? Has he made a speech about anything? I mean, an American just got shot on the head. Where is everyone? Where's the accountability? I just don't get it anymore. And you know what? I might be going off the lamb here. If you're Jewish and you vote for Democrats, you're crazy. I'm sorry. You're insane.
True. He's 100% spot on. You are crazy if you're Jewish and you vote for Democrats. What's wrong with you?
I will never understand it.
And I question the parents of is it Hirsch?
Mm-hmm.
I was in awe. I couldn't believe that they got up on the DNC stage. And they praised Biden and they praised Kamala. The
only thing I can think of about them and other families, because I've seen some of the other families of remaining hostages who are they're saying the same thing, that Netanyahu he's not going about this right. He's been too focused on like just revenge or like not on getting the hostages home. When if this was Jackson, if he were a hostage, he would be my focus, right? It wouldn't be the future. It wouldn't be preventing future attacks. It would be about getting him home this second. And so from that perspective, I can understand the parents literally just using any platform that they want to and being angry at Netanyahu for not conceding because it's their boy, it's their
baby
girl.
boy, right?
Yeah, but everybody else who doesn't have actual skin in the game have to be thinking, how do we make sure this doesn't happen again? Because the more you concede, the more you're digging your own grave. You're just asking for future attacks.
Yeah, and that's exactly what they're doing. This is what this administration is basically saying by let's negotiate with terrorists, because it's gonna happen again and again and again and again.
Yep. And I hated to cut this next clip at all because Douglas Murray is he's an international treasure. And Piers Morgan was trying to question him about Netanyahu and strategy and all of this stuff. And Douglas Murray, there's just no one that articulates the plight of Israel better than he does. And I did cut a couple things out of this just in, out of respect for time, but it does run a little bit long, worth every second.
Not feel that something has to give here, that this has to get resolved somehow, and that the only way to do that is, as with all these situations, you have to eventually compromise in some way. And the problem for Netanyahu is that people think he is completely incapable of offering Hamas any compromise, and therefore there is no deal. So the families of the hostages still there, and hundreds of thousands of protesters in Israel on the street to Tel Aviv right now, they are of the firm belief that it's his own intractable position on this, which is not going to allow any kind of ceasefire to be achievable.
But there again, if I can say so, Piers, it's the same thing, which is the presumption that it's Netanyahu who is uncompromising. We end up with this, again, because Netanyahu is a democratically elected leader, and so it's assumed that some pressure can be brought to bear on him. In my view, it is not Netanyahu who's uncompromising. It's Hamas that's uncompromising. They could have handed back the hostages last October. They could have not done this. I mean, they could have tried to build a state since 2005, when Israel withdrew from the Gaza, and handed the place over to them. Hamas could have used the billions of dollars and pounds and euros that British and European and American taxpayers gave them since 2006. They could have used those billions of dollars to build up Gaza. They could have made a booming, in the good sense of the term, Mediterranean paradise.
Right.
They could have created wealth for their people. But you know what they did? They built down instead of upwards. They built a tunnel network bigger than the London Underground for all of those years, and they squirreled away the money, just like Yasser Arafat did before them, and they made themselves rich. Why? Because they took the money of Americans and Brits and Europeans, and they took it for themselves and kept the people of Gaza in immiseration and poverty. There has been, since 2005, a complete counterfactual of what could have happened. But the Hamas leadership didn't want that. They have said themselves they want to use Palestinian children and their lives in order to pressurize the world. These are fanatics. They want the death of their own citizens, in order to get world opinion turned against Israel. Again, how do you negotiate with that? The assumption always is in the West today, because we're so sort of fat and lazy in our expectation that peace is the norm, and that historically it's the norm. We're so full of our own expectations and presumptions that we always think that wars end by some kind of compromise and coming around the table, to use the cliche. They don't. Historically, most wars end because one side wins and one side loses. And one of the reasons, in my view, why there is this endless rounds of war in this region is because the Israelis are never allowed to win, and Hamas, in this case, are always allowed to draw. And I think that is simply to set up the precursor for the next conflict. If Hamas come out of this with a fighting capability, then there will be another round of this war in a couple of years. So when David Lammy and others say what we need to have is a peace deal, I'd say on what terms? Everybody wants peace except for Hamas and the fanatics. Everybody else wants peace. All of these people in the south, these kibbutzniks and the party goers and others who were murdered on the 7th, all dreamed of peace with their Palestinian neighbors and brothers and sisters. Who stopped that peace being possible? Hamas, from 2005 and again to this very day.
They don't want peace. They want terror.
Terrorists.
They're freaking animals, and they're terrorists. They don't want peace. So You negotiate with them, it's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again.
I cannot understand why it's always Israel that has to concede when they have been slaughtered.
Yeah.
Just stop murdering them.
I know. It's
then
like
there will be peace.
I said it before and I'll say it again. If somebody comes into my house and murders my family, I'm not going to effing negotiate with you.
Right.
There will be no negotiation. You will die.
Yep.
Why is this hard? And I would hope that the people listening to this wouldn't do that either with their families. What is that? And if somebody said to you, well, you got to negotiate with the killer. You got to negotiate because that's on you to do it. No, because they came in and they murdered my family. Like, what is that? But this is what they do to Israel all the time. This is what they do.
Every single time.
God.
Single time. In other news, Tim Pool is about to drop the legal hammer on Kamala's campaign. Apparently, the Kamala HQ Twitter account, which is constantly putting out stuff about her and the campaign, often engages in complete lying and misinformation. They edit and they manipulate videos from conservatives to make it look like they said things that they didn't. And Tim Pool was a victim of it. He is not taking it. Here he is to explain.
This morning, I am announcing that I have engaged legal counsel. We are preparing a lawsuit against the Kamala Harris campaign due to a defamatory statement posted on X, which is extreme, egregious, and I just got to say outright psychotic in accusing me personally, as well as Laura Loomer, but we are two separate individuals, of calling for unchecked legal power so that they, meaning Trump and his allies, can jail and execute anyone who doesn't support Trump if he wins, which is a shocking and egregious lie that goes so far beyond the pale. I just can't even. Timcast has not, and will not be a part of or in any way related to Project 2025. Nor have I ever called for anyone to have unchecked legal authority. And I will stress this because this is the most shockingly offensive part of what they said. And I'm jumping right to it right away so I don't waste your time because I have a lot to talk about. I am opposed to the death penalty in all circumstances. I have argued against the death penalty in every circumstance. I do not trust the government to decide who gets to live and die, and I will never support the death penalty or any type of executions. For that matter, the clip in question posted by the Kamala campaign was literally me arguing against the idea of the death penalty, telling Laura Loomer that she was wrong. These individuals did not commit treason, more likely sedition, but there is a lot to break down in exactly what this post is. And so I just wanted to make sure I started immediately by addressing what we are doing. So I will.
Oh, damn. He's mad.
I love it. I love it. We need to see more of this to fight back against the mainstream media and like the media in general and just the lies. Because they get away with saying whatever the hell they want about conservatives. Happens all the time. Yeah. So good for him. We're not litigious enough, Mock. And seriously, there was something that he said. What was it? It was like, oh, I know. There was something else that he said that you didn't play part of his like little statement there. He was accused of being an operative, or did he say that and I just missed it? He was accused of being an operative. I'm like, well, damn, if we can sue for that, we should get on that bandwagon because I got to pay for a third kid's college, because we've been accused of being operatives literally our entire career. We've been accused of that.
I keep checking the mail for the checks and they never come.
Well, maybe the check isn't suing the people who accuse us of being operatives because we're not. We've never worked for any sort of political anybody that is paying us to say things, as opposed to like these Democrats who actually are puppets for their organization. We're not puppets for anybody. We say the things and we do it and we're out there and we do it. And I feel like we take hits for that.
Yeah, but the difference is that we take hits from complete internet random losers and not entire presidential campaigns.
Well, that's true. I agree. I mean, listen, we're not going to sue anybody. I know. I'm joking, but I'm just saying like that. He said that he was like, I'm not an operative, and I'm like, yeah. And that's
everything about their video was a lie. Everything,
right? Which is not okay. So I'm glad to see that at least somebody of his stature is like, I'm not going to take this crap. I'm going to
Yeah.
sue. So good for him. You know?
It's good stuff, man.
Yeah, it is
good
good stuff. It is.
Can't wait to see how that turns out.
Yep.
I regret to inform you that there is such a thing as a packer. And I was today or yesterday years old when I learned of this product. But essentially, it is a like silicone dong that is just in the shape of a bulge, like a dude's bulge. And it is specifically for trans people to put in their underwear. So if they are biological women, they can look like dudes. And that's all fine and good if you're an adult and you want to do that, whatever, you do you. The problem is that they make them for itty bitty kids.
And I just realized some of you may not know what a packer is. That's a packer. It's intended for girls under 5 to put in their underwear so that they have a bulge that mimics a penis. This is for a girl under 5. It's intended for her to put in her panties so that she has a bulge that looks like a boy's. Can't even imagine what parent would buy this for their daughter, a child under 5 years old, and then in the morning say, honey, don't forget to put your packer in. To me, this is reinforcing gender dysphoria in a really quite profound and ugly way. One of the things I hear trans advocates talk about all the time is that being transgender is not about the genitals, and yet this here product is for little girls.
It's child abuse.
Oh my God.
That's child abuse. God, that's demonic, man. I swear.
Right?
Anybody shoving a fake penis down their 5-year-old girl's pants, it's child abuse. You need to have your kid taken away from you. Like something is wrong with you. Something
so
is
vile.
It's just absolutely disgusting. These people are this is out of control. I can't believe we're even talking about this.
I know.
Like 20 years ago, everybody would have agreed this is child abuse.
Yeah.
And now we're having like people are doing this and they're like, well, I mean, that kid is trans. She's 5. Oh my God. I honestly can't believe we're talking about this.
Yeah. I was just sickened.
Depravity,
and
man.
You guys just need to know that that's a thing. But I do have a little bit of eye bleach for you in the form of a worker who Justin Trudeau is trying to razzle dazzle and do this with. And this worker is not having it. And he just blasts Trudeau, and it's glorious.
We're here if you want to thank you for your hard work.
I can bring some for my kids here.
Okay. The 25% tariffs we just brought in on Chinese steel's going to help you out.
That's going to keep my job, yeah. What about the 40% taxes I'm paying? And I don't have a doctor?
The $400 million we invested in the card means you're going to have a job for
I think you're only here for another year. We won't see you around probably another year.
Well, that's what elections are for.
That's right.
And I look forward to everyone exercising the right to vote.
Yeah.
Basic choice. We're going to invest in you and your job.
I don't believe you for a second.
Dental care? Do you know anyone who got dental care?
Yeah, I pay for it myself.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're like 3 years
You have
behind.
a job and coverage?
Yeah,
but we
four
got
people in my
seniors.
family.
We've got
Every time we
seniors.
go for a dental visit, it's costing me about $50 in my pocket per person.
Okay.
Why? I have a good job. You're not really doing anything for us, Justin.
Well, actually, we just invested, so 500,000 people hadn't been to the dentist. Got to go to the dentist over the past few months.
Probably like my neighbor that doesn't go to work because she's lazy.
Well,
She
you know
just
what?
doesn't go to work. She lives the same
Most
life I do.
Canadians try to stick up for each other, and that's what we're going to keep doing.
Yeah.
Good luck and take care of your family. sir.
No, I'm good. Thank you.
All right.
Have a nice day.
Oh my God, I'm good. Thank you. It's so uncomfortable and awesome. I love that whole
I
thing.
know.
Listen, I speak disgruntled normal dude. I speak that language. And what he really wanted to say was, F you, dude. F
All the
you.
fingers.
He wanted to give him all the fingers, but he didn't. He was actually, I thought, really like respectful and nice, all things considered.
He was holding back.
Oh, God, he was holding back. He really was. Because behind closed doors, he says the things.
Oh, yeah, he says them.
Uh-huh.
He says them.
Man, they need to get rid of that dude. Just throw him on his ass. They got to get rid of that dude.
Awful.
Little Castro.
Awful. Let him out of office. We can go be gay finally.
Yeah, you can go be gay with the other guy. Who's the other dude?
Macron.
Macron. He and Macron
Yeah.
are in love. Just go have your thing. Yeah.
I mean, Brigitte will probably
She'll join in. She'll totally join in. Yeah. Wah. They do that in France.
Oh.
Yeah. She'll wave the white flag and be like, whatever, I'm in.
That's right.
Uh-huh.
The NFL is getting geared up, and they have released like a look at our season starting teaser ad, and it is causing all kinds of controversy because in the ad about football, Taylor Swift appears no fewer than 5 times.
The other guys got the donuts. Excellent.
So dumb.
5 times.
So stupid.
Making the catch is the right there. The core. Jamar Chase. Touchdown. Odell Beckham. Fifth time. From the body. Oh, he doesn't make it. Odell
It's so stupid. It's just so dumb. I'm surprised I didn't use one of her songs. Shake it off. Shake it off.
I'm surprised she didn't write a song for the NFL.
I know, with her little guitar on stage and her like sequined outfit or sequin like one-piece bathing suit that she wears every show. Hey, everybody. It's very folksy.
I mean, I get once in a 30-second ad, but
5 times. Yeah.
times?
And her name on the thing. Her name on the ticker was, I mean, stop it. It's just stop. God, it's just so ridiculous. They should name it like the National Taylor League now. It's so stupid. It makes me not want to watch.
I know. I
wouldn't anyway because I hate National Football League. I'm a college football girl.
Yeah.
I don't watch any of the stuff. Yeah.
You guys, the greatest podcast name in the history of podcasts has been created, and it is none other than by the Tuah girl, whose new podcast is Talk Tuah.
Thought I was done? I'm just getting started, baby. I'm Haley Welch. A little while ago, my life took a complete left turn and it changed forever. And along the way, I've realized that everybody's entitled to their own opinion. Well, now it's my time to talk. Check out my podcast every week, Talk Tuah, where I'm sitting down with the coolest guests and having actual conversations with them.
I just can't stand this girl.
Talk. I'm sorry, but that's brilliant. I don't know who came up with it. It's perfect. It's the best. I love it. I'm not going to listen to it, obviously, but it's a good name.
I just don't like her. I don't.
But you have to admit that that's a good name.
It's not better than Chicks on the Right.
Well,
I think you're giving her way too many props.
Or whoever came up with it. It's perfect for her.
Yeah. Perfect. I mean, it's just a rhyming thing. I feel like we could have come up with that over margaritas. Honestly.
But I mean, the fact that it worked, right? Like podcasting, like the whole thing just worked.
I don't know. I cannot believe this girl is having more than 15 minutes of fame. I just can't.
All right, we're not going to have.
Yes, everybody does have a podcast now. Yes.
Yes,
everybody does. And you can have zero intelligence apparently and have a podcast.
And she'll probably have like a huger audience than we do.
Oh, she'll make a gajillion dollars on her podcast. Yeah. And we've been working 15 years and we don't. And I'm not bitter about it or anything. I'm not.
Because why? Because America always rewards terrible behavior.
Right.
We just need to do something terrible.
Well, be complete whores. And we could. Did I say that out loud?
Can you do that? Can you do it?
I'm not going to do that. No. That's your job.
I don't want to. All right. We're not going to have a schlong today because we're already going to go over. But we are going to have double Ds and we're going to have some talks. And we're going to start with your double D.
Okay. So this clip reminded me of like if your mom read something like a review for a hotel, like a fancy hotel that Jackson had written, Because her mom, you guys, Mock's mom is so precious. She's like a sweet little Polish bird. And she's so proper and so perfect and so sweet. And if she had to read something that like a Gen Zer wrote, it reminds me of what you're about to see.
Breakfast is 880 years old, no cap. See the garden, it's giving relaxation, it's giving zen. The medieval dining room has so much rizz. The Georgian panelled room understood the assignment. Slay. See how the Victorian windows let in a lot of light. Very considerate, very mindful, very demure. Slay. Whether you need to recover from a brat summer or a mentee bee,
I don't know what
this
that
is
is.
the place for you. Slay.
Slay. What is a mentee bee? What is that?
The mental breakdown.
Oh my God, really?
Yeah.
A mentee bee.
I'm having a total mentee
I'm
bee
having
right
a
now.
mentee bee. Yes. Oh my God. I just get your mother would be reading it in her sweet little Polish accent. I want her to say mentee bee on camera. Can you send that to me? Can you have her like send me a video just saying mentee bee and then saying slay?
Yeah, I should have her say, I'm having a mentee bee, no cap.
Slay.
Slay.
I want her to do that. She's so
I
precious.
don't know if I can convince her. I'll try. I'll do my best.
I think she'd do it for me. I think she would. Your dad would totally do it.
He would sound ridiculous.
George would do it in a heartbeat for
and
me.
he would do it straight. You know what I mean? He would do it like totally play it straight.
Totally. He'd do it as if it was like his job. Yeah. I love that so much.
All right, it's time for some My Pillow Talks, and then we've got some more folks to thank. This just reminded me of something you and I need to do the next time we're together because it's best friends, and apparently it's a new challenge where one friend makes a weird face, and the other friend's task is to assign the sound that weird face would make if it made a sound.
Oh my
and
gosh.
They cannot get through a single one without dying.
We got to
of
do
laughter.
this. Yeah.
You guys, I laughed so hard at them laughing.
Whoa.
Okay.
Oh my God.
You're so dedicated.
We would so do this. You'd have to do the faces.
Turkey.
It was a turkey. You'd have to do the faces and I'd have to do the sounds. I feel like I'd be really, really good at the sounds because
Do you want to try it? Do you want to try it really
so
fast?
expressive. We can't do it now. We have to do a video. Save it. We're gonna do a whole.
Okay.
We're gonna do a whole video, you guys. Miss Cadillac didn't find it funny. She didn't think it was funny at all.
Okay, well, she sucks. No offense. You don't really suck. I'm sure you're lovely. But if you don't have a best friend
Come
that you would do
on.
this with, I don't
I
even know.
know,
Like you're
right?
missing out because that is hysterical. Like,
It
I
was
know
pretty-
we would die.
It was pretty funny, and I would make a lot of turkey sounds. Gobble, gobble, gobble.
You don't
Gobble,
suck,
gobble.
Miss Cadillac. I'm just kidding.
She's just kidding.
Okay, so the next one, because I know we show a lot of cats, and we are going to have some cats today.
Can't wait for the cat.
But I don't know what kind of bird this is. Like, this is one of those. It's not like what's the kind of bird that's like tall and fat
Flamingo?
and also has
Emu?
also has it's like the pelican beak. Like it's
Sounds
got this
like
thing.
I don't. Oh,
But
a toucan?
No,
they're not
it's
tall.
It's like a stork pelican. It's like a stelican.
It's a stelican, you guys. It's
I
a
don't know what-
pork.
I don't know what kind of bird it is.
we
But
don't
there's
know.
this like Chinese like
Oh.
caretaker of this
Okay.
giant bird. And this
Mhm.
bird, she like goes after it because the bird tried to eat something and she's like, oh no, you can't eat that. And so she has to wrestle this giant stelican
and try to get the thing out of its
and
mouth.
try to get the thing. And
It's
so
like
yeah,
me with
you'll
my
s-
Great Danes. This is what we
Yeah.
do every day. Yep.
And I'm pleased to inform you that she is successful.
Oh.
Watch.
Oh my gosh. Look.
He's like, I'm going to get it.
He's like, I'm riding you now. What is in there?
You'll see. Holy.
Is it another bird? Oh my God. They're like cannibals. What?
And it's fine. It's fine. The bird is fine.
The bird was like, it's okay. I'm okay, everybody. I'm okay. It's okay. Nothing to see here. Oh God. It's a cannibal.
Right?
It's like a Jeffrey Dahmer bird. That thing is
It's a
terrifying.
cannibal skeleton.
A pork.
That was amazing. Okay.
Wow.
Now you need to see a cat montage.
I can't wait.
This is just cats being so
Catty. Catty.
Your feet pictures.
Oh.
Keep
Oh
your
my
paws closed or you're going to get off them. Thank you.
Jerry, think about it. It's a baby. Don't do it.
Do they really think about it?
I mean,
Do
if
they?
you yell at them, they do pause. Like,
They
they'll
do?
take a-
They
they'll
actually,
take
do
a
you guys
beat.
have, do you guys have cats that take beats and think about it? I mean, because this is awesome. You guys, I really do. I'm waiting for my cat. It may take
Yeah.
years, but I'm waiting for the right cat that's going to fit in with all the other crazy animals in my house. It's got to
It's gonna
fit in.
find you.
Right.
That
The
cat needs to
universe.
find
God is going to send me the right cat.
you. Yep.
Make good choices, Jerry. I saw that too.
Okay, last one. And I did not know this is a thing, but this is a thing in Japan, and it's the coolest thing ever, sort of. It's also a little bit weird, but cool. You can rent old people in Japan.
What?
I know.
Oh my God, you live there. You never did this.
I never knew about this. I don't know if I would have taken advantage.
Oh, I totally would have.
But this fellow did, and he's here to tell us all about it.
I'm about to rent an old man. I'm here in Japan to buy a house, but to be happy here, I'm going to need friends, so I'm going to rent one. Japan being Japan, it wasn't entirely surprising to find that old people are available for rent. The website for this is called Osan Rental. Osan means old man. You can choose a normal old man, a kind old man, a cultural old man, or even a small snuggly old man. I wasn't sure what kind of old man I wanted, but I knew I didn't want the snuggly one. So I added a few of them to my cart, but I couldn't check out online because I didn't have a Japanese phone number. Then I realized that some of these old men put their email addresses in their online profiles. So I emailed them. I wasn't expecting a response, as I personally would not respond to an email from a stranger asking to rent me. But one of them did respond.
He's not even old.
I was a little thrown off when I met
not
Sakurai
old.
because despite being 58 years old, he looked much younger. He'd made a good living and retired early, then spent his free time playing tennis and cooking elaborate meals for his family. But he found himself looking for something
amazing.
more. So he put himself on the market. Now people hire him to play sports, go to movies, and shop with him. Sometimes they take him drinking or on long drives, but never at the same time. He's not available for illegal or evasive actions.
Okay.
Sakurai was glowing with positivity. He loves life and he loves helping people.
Some of the people want to just talk, just listen.
I asked him how I can make friends in Japan. He
Bless
suggested
him.
I learn the language. But what I discovered today is that there's another easier way to make friends. Renting an old man.
Oh my God, I love this.
I know, isn't that
I should rent my husband out. I gotta rent Greg out, you guys. He's retired. I should rent him out.
You could.
I mean, he would be a little grouchy, but I think people, once you get to know him, super great. Really. Very endearing. You guys would love him. Who wants to rent him? Highest bidder. Call me.
So we said earlier that we aren't going to be whores, but we never said anything about our husbands.
I could whore him out. I mean, not for that, but you know what I mean.
Right.
He could spend time with you, teach you a few things, do some odd jobs around your house. That's all I'm saying. It is wholesome. It's very wholesome. I think that's so sweet. In Japan, that's one place I've always wanted to go is Japan. I have no interest in China. I have no interest in India. I have no interest in Australia, but Japan, always wanted to go there. I saw that like kids, they'll get on the subways by themselves because it's so safe and clean. And
Ron loved it. Ron went a bunch when he was in racing and loved Japan.
And my daughter wants to go there. I would love to go there. How long does it take to get there?
It's long. Yeah, it's long.
I know, because you went there. You lived there. Mock
Yeah.
lived in Japan, you guys. She lived there.
But I didn't live on the mainland. I lived in Okinawa, and that was just an itsy bitsy teeny weeny island off the coast of
And
the
you
mainland.
loved it. You loved it, didn't you?
I mean, it was great because it was, it's like a tropical island. So what's not to
Right.
love, right?
Mhm. Yeah. Anyways, that's neat. That's cute.
Yeah. All right, we got some thanks to give out. Osuki said the woman whose daughter was called, she should have tears in her eyes, tears of shame that she's even talking to the Kamal.
Yeah. I mean, that was weird, wasn't it?
She says Kamal feels comfortable that 13 U.S. Marines were murdered. You can't compromise with murderous pieces of shit. It's not hard. It's the heads of the pro-Palestinians and their supporters that are hard. So that was Osuki responding to a whole bunch of different stuff.
Yeah.
Brian Brumley says another one stolen from Tim Foolery, aka Dances with Daisy. How do you wake up Katy Perry? You poker face. Take my money, jerks on the right. Wait a minute.
That's Lady Gaga. That's Lady Gaga. Yeah. That was good though.
Fooball Jesus says, why doesn't Kamala ever wear a dress? It's always the same blazer and blue shirts like Hollywood shows police women. Yeah, that's a good question. She never, ever wears a dress.
Never.
I don't
It's
know.
like, that's like the Democrat uniform for women, you know?
Alexander says the town is pronounced Preco. I've got my DVDs ready for 2 stopovers and 1 3.5 layover. The things my family does to save money. I'm just hoping for good weather and to record my family's reaction when I surprise them. That's fun. I love surprises.
Yeah.
Rosalind Jester, thank you. She says, happy 20th anniversary to my amazing husband, Ty. Thank you, chicks, for fighting the good fight. I live in Carmel, Mock, and hope to run into you sometime before you move. Oh my gosh. Hi, Rosalind.
That's really cool. She doesn't leave her house much, so
That's
you're gonna
true.
have to.
I don't go anywhere.
Uh-huh.
Jose Rodriguez says my buddy's Dodge pickup broke down. It threw a ramrod.
Hashtag Ramrod.
Rock me here. Take my money. Andrew Huff says Kamala's just doing what her mentor Hillary did. Remember, leading up to 2016, just wait. Kamala will also tell you she's packing hot sauce in her purse as well. Just give her time. Yep.
Ridiculous.
Lori Ween says, what does a nosy pepper do? It gets jalapeno business.
I love that one.
What concert costs 45 cents? 50 Cent featuring Nickelback.
She really liked that.
one.
She's
Love
gonna
that
use
one.
that. She's saying that one again. Yeah.
Uriel Gonzalez says, Daisy, you're absolutely right again. Kamala does not want to do the debate. She doesn't want to do a press briefing where she has to answer questions. She doesn't want to do a live, unscripted, unedited interview.
She's scared.
Nope.
She's terrified.
Lady Pie says if they do open mics during the debate, Trump should use the I'm speaking line first, finger pointing and all. Can you imagine? Funny.
Beautiful.
That would be
Yeah.
awesome. Lori Ween says prayers appreciated was making a turn yesterday and my right front tire broke. Tow rod snapped and pulled the axle out of the transmission. Most likely
What?
totaled. Doubt insurance will cover it and can't afford a new car. Anyone in Middle Tennessee have a spare car they don't need?
Oh no.
Oh my gosh. That sucks, Lori.
It
I'm
does.
sorry about that. Anyway, thanks to all of you for supporting us so kindly. We appreciate it. And we appreciate it even more when you support our sponsors, because that
Totally.
not only gets you cool stuff, it helps.
Totally does. Keeps the show going. Are we bringing it in? I have some gifts.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we're going to bring it in. If you want to stick around for the gifts, please do that. But, oh God, it's a big hug. It's a big hug. Okay. All right. Let me get some of this stuff out of the way. I've got like coffee cups here. Okay. First thing is first. I got this sweet thing and really nice. It was a cat
Aw.
card. I just like this card. It's like, hey, it's cat. Anyways, this is from Jill. I think you got one of these too. It was a Georgia
Mhm.
one. I got a
Yeah.
Tennessee one. That's really
So
cool. And I'm
cool.
assuming she hand paints this stuff, and this is like amazing, like artwork. I don't know how you guys do all this stuff. Dana Spain got me these gorgeous earrings. If I can get them out, hold on, they're coming. Here we go. I'm going to show you just one of them. I don't want to take both out. So here, sorry, it's taking me forever. They're very delicate and beautiful. Look how pretty those are, you guys.
Yeah.
Can you see them? They're gold and they have like silver in the middle. Dana, Absolutely gorgeous. Thank you so much. I love those. Love. I got this really pretty painting. It's not a painting. It's like paper. It's really, really cool. Anyways, it's from Carolyn. I'm sorry, Lynn Miller, AKA Carolyn. I think she goes by Carolyn. She got me this. It's sort of like paper on paper.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 chicks. So that was really sweet. Thank you so much. And then I got the same owl that you showed everybody yesterday. He's so cute. I love it. I love the owl. He's very,
so
very
cute.
sweet. I know. Thank you so much for that.
That's from Carolyn Kitsky.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Carolyn. And then this is from Jean. I got myself she sent me a really sweet card and she gave me a Starbucks gift card.
Nice.
So thank you so much. I will put that to good use. And then Sherry gave me the book that you got.
Yes, I love that.
The When You Love a Dog, which is so sweet. And then I got another shirt. I have no idea who this is from. So somebody's going to have to tell me because there was no note or anything in there. I have no idea who this is from. No idea. It just came to my house and I was like, all right, it's just Dick is a jerk. Don't be a dick. I don't know who that's from. So thank you for that shirt. You guys, thank you for all the birthday gifts. I mean, so sweet. Very, very thoughtful. I love you guys. Thank you. Mwah. Have a great day. We'll talk to you tomorrow. Bye, everybody.